Face planted.
What may be more impressive than that knockout in the last second of that round 5, is the fact that Holloway doesn't need a wheelbarrow to carry around his balls all day. I mean, like that was what that was about. Like, it was just, all right, I beat you as a fighter. Technically, I took you apart. Now let's see whose balls are bigger. And then he just stood there and put Gaethje on his face with a knock. It was just crazy.
Kenny, I don't think a wheelbarrow's big enough for those balls. And again, one of the most personable, nicest guys you're going to meet. So
really is.
How could you just put everything together? How accessible he is, how complimentary. I mean, I saw him. I mean, it feels like I know the guy for 100 years. I really don't. I just love watching him fight. Just a great dude, man. Couldn't be happier for a guy. Yeah. And Gaethje's always a warrior. It's not taking 1 ounce of anything away from him. He takes 2 to tango, and he's willing to put his balls on the line too. So give them both wheelbarrows.
So we've been going live for 45 minutes, and I wonder aloud how we're going to get to Diego Lopez in the next 75 minutes, because there's so many different things that we actually have to get to. And Kayla Harrison, by the way, Ken Flo and Greg Jackson. It was nice to see Greg Jackson there in Las Vegas. I'm going to start hanging out with older men like Ray Longo and Kenny Florian and Greg Jackson. So I'm not always the oldest man in the room. But what great to see the wizard, Kenny, Greg Jackson. Did you guys break bread, or do you guys not want that revealed? You guys fucking these dangerous men probably don't.
Yeah, no, we did. We got some dinner. Always great to see Greg. Awesome dude. Ton of experience. Obviously, it's always cool to kind of pick his brain. And yeah, man, legend of the game for sure.
How old is Craig now?
Greg's his name. You call him Craig?
Yeah,
Greg, I don't know how old Greg is.
Gregory. How old is Gregory?
I don't know.
Is this a rival of yours? You're calling him fucking Craig?
No. I had a good chat with Winklejohn.
Oh,
I didn't know Winklejohn's 61. Wait, first I'll give you.
Wow, he looks great.
Yeah. I'll give you a good story because I love it. What are you doing?
I'm wearing your Ray Longo minute T-shirt right now. JohnAnik.com, promo code one more sleep.
Sorry, I thought it was the Anik.
See that? I'm wearing your fucking face. I mean, first off, Pellegrino wearing your fucking face to our appearance.
I wore all Anik and Florian shit the whole week because I'm a team fucking player. That's right. You saw.
Hey, I think you wear it because it's comfortable. If I'm being honest, right? I mean,
you're not. Well, be honest, because I wear it to represent. Because I love you guys.
Well, we love you too.
Listen, I'm talking. First off, shout out to Sean Shelby. I always like busting his balls, but I love the guy now because we're talking about something. He goes, "Well, we're the same age." I go, "Really?" I go, "How?" I go, "How old are you?" He goes, 52. I go, "Wait a minute. Do you think I'm 52?" And then I tell him I'm 65, going to be 66. He goes, "No fucking way." So I feel fucking great, man. I love hearing those compliments.
Well, dude,
come on, man. Let's fucking go.
Big Ron is straight as an arrow, but man, he was talking about the Ray Longo aesthetic when you were 30, as if like you were his dream man in that type of scenario. I mean, we all know at a point in time when Ray Longo was shredded up with those blue eyes, it was just like, I mean, women love him, men want to be him, all that stuff. Right?
I don't know about shredded up, but the blue eyes, but
no, you do. You have aged gracefully. I mean, black don't crack and you're white, but largely for a Caucasian man, you've aged gracefully. All right. So there are so many directions in which we could go. There really are. Would you like to talk about Alex Pineda for a minute?
Let's go, man. Everything.
Bro.
There's a lot to talk about.
So I don't know that there's a comp for this guy. We have marveled at Israel Adesanya and Conor McGregor and how quickly they essentially laid out Hall of Fame resumes in the UFC. But for this guy to make a decision, right, to transition fully from kickboxing to MMA when he did, because he didn't like Izzy sort of talking about him, right? Former alcoholic, doing this really in a lot of respects for respect, but for financial gain to support his two boys. And he has in a few years become one of the most sensational, accomplished MMA fighters of all time, like at least on paper.
Yeah, look, first off, besides even what he's doing in the octagon, unequivocally the best and most scariest walkout I've ever seen in the last 30 years. I mean, who cannot love that, man? And I don't know if he does it on purpose, but he plays the part. He just has that blank look. This guy looks like, they can announce him from parts unknown and you would believe it. You know what I mean? Like, I just the way he carries himself, that's a scary motherfucker. motherfucker, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a scary motherfucker. And he hits like a goddamn freight train. Holy shit. He generates power. I think it's got to be his the way his arms are so long and the way he could generate power from a short distance is just absolutely phenomenal.
So we asked a poll question: who would be next for Alex Pineda? Now, I said on the broadcast, Kenny, repeatedly as he was getting his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt for this knockout, he was looking at his left pinky toe. Seemed like maybe something was going on that was irritating him. And then I was told as the broadcast went on in my ear that maybe there was something with his foot. So it sounds to me like May 4th, UFC 301, that does already have a headliner and branding, would be ambitious for this guy. All right, thank you all for indulging us for this extended live UFC 300 recap. I did just want to say in closing at this live event, we acknowledge Chael Sonnen and Anderson Silva. Their fight from 2010 for the middleweight title will be inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame as part of our induction class of 2024. So Silva versus Sonnen won, going into the UFC Hall of Fame. And I just want to say, as somebody who has hosted this UFC Hall of Fame induction ceremony for a long time, we use these wings as conduits to get certain people into the Hall of Fame. Not to suggest that our Hall of Fame is perfect, right? But Chael Sonnen has been a major contributor to mixed martial arts, and I'm really happy for him to get this type of acknowledgement. He has brought a ton to the sport. He nearly realized the world championship at middleweight that he so badly wanted to produce for his late father. He was unable to do that, but he's continued to deliver, you know, as my colleague on the TV side, and I just think he's brought a lot of eyeballs to mixed martial arts. So, you know, even though he was absolutely filthy maybe the night upon which he fought my good friend Brian Stan, you know, I hope Chael will understand that, you know, this fight wing is used as a conduit to get deserving people into the Hall of Fame. And I hope that Chael Sonnen will, in that, consider himself a UFC Hall of Famer. All right, we got to get on out of here. Thanks to everybody for joining us today. JohnAnik.com for all of your merchandise needs. Promo code One More Sleep gets you 20% off of all the UFC 300 designs for One More Sleep, as well as all the Anik and Florian podcast merchandise as well. And don't forget KennyFlorianMartialArts.com if you want to become a badass like Max Holloway. Thank you to Ray Longo. Thanks to our producer Cody Merrow at the helm, and thanks to the entire Anik and Florian podcast family showing up, showing out in Las Vegas. Thanks to our sponsor, of course, Cuervo. Thanks to the DraftKings folks as well. And we will be back either later this week or early next as we get ready for the next UFC Fight Night coming up on April 27th. With that, for Ken Flo, I'm John Anik. Thank you all for watching, for listening. Until next week, don't text and drive. Yo, f***ing later.